Hey everybody, today is a special day. I'm actually here with one of my channel friends. Like I get chastised a lot because I only have people in partnership land, and to me, like everybody's the same. But obviously, there's a difference. But Jazz and I have known each other for what, a year now?
Yep. Maybe even longer.
Yeah, so super. And Jazz just landed in a new role, so I figured we spend some time with her to talk about the market she's in, the company that she just joined, and her role. So Jazz, tell us a little bit about the market you're in, and then let's jump into the company that you're at.
Yeah, definitely. So, as everybody knows, Jasmina Muller.
Yeah.
I currently started with Titan Cloud Storage a little over a month ago. Actually, almost 2 months now. Titan Cloud Storage, basically, as the name says it, cloud storage,
Yeah.
a booming industry that we're starting to see a lot more of. I'm their chief ecosystem officer. So basically, what that means, I run the channel programs and I'm building the channel programs now. But as we are a startup, we are first, of course, starting with partner recruitment. And as we started with that, partner recruitment, of course, comes down to the channel programs and what have you. But that's pretty much where I'm at. I actually came to this company as I started consulting a few months ago, and they were my first client. And so as I did some recommendations around channel programs, they were like, can we just bring you on board? And you just kind of take it from there. So I was like, absolutely. Cloud storage is a booming market right now,
Yeah.
which is the reason why I came on, because it just started, going from there.
Super. So okay, so tell us what's exciting in cloud storage, because when I think about cloud storage, I'm just like, oh, what a boring business. But I also know that boring businesses are really big businesses also,
Yeah.
right? So which is just great. So tell us about what's happening in cloud storage, and what should people care about?
So I think the biggest thing, and this is based off of the feedback that I've been getting from a lot of the partners, is you know what? There's only three cloud storage companies. False. I mean, you've got the big three. You've got the
Yeah.
AWS, you've got the Microsoft, you got the Google. Great. But the benefits, or I should say the differentiator with Titan Cloud Storage, is that we are a startup. And a lot of these channel partners always love to go with these startups. They want to be able to go ahead and provide a difference for their company as well. Instead of just having those three, they're looking at it as what other options can I have for their clients? And I think the biggest thing is price. I mean, we are, and I know a lot of other the competition will say the same, but price is probably the biggest differentiator with us. We're up to 75, 80% less. And then you've got a couple other benefits around margins for partners. Our commissions are off the charts, and we can get into that down the line. But the other is more around our different multi-regional approach. A lot of the other competition, they don't have that multi-regional approach. You literally have to take a look at opening up another account to get that multi-region. Ours is by default. And then probably the biggest one is the customer success. The customer journey itself and the experience around it for the end users is top notch. And those are pretty much the reasons why I came over. So you've got, like I said, your top three, but
Yep.
now all of a sudden you've got Titan and you've got others that kind of compete alongside us. But those three reasons that we've gotten from our partners for the ones that we've recruited and recently announced, their main reason was those three that I mentioned.
Got it. And so totally, the commercial flexibility, I think is a big point, because as companies get bigger, there's just less things that they can do, and they also prefer dealing with volume accounts. So a lot of the, let's call it, Main Street accounts just don't get the same love, right? But there's lots
Yep.
and lots of them out there. And so does your company go direct as well, or is it channel only?
That's the great news. It's 100% channel,
Okay,
channel first, channel led, channel everything. There is no direct sales team.
got it.
So there is no channel conflict.
Okay,
You are directly dealing with the channel individuals of the team.
okay,
And the good news is a lot of times people are like, yeah, well, how do the executives really, want this channel investment? Or do they really want a channel? The good news is our CRO that I work with has a background in channel. So
great.
that's huge. Everybody always goes, well, how does the CRO work within the channel?
Yeah.
This is by far the first and foremost best company to look at it from that channel investment. We're
Yep.
constantly looking on what are we going to do to differentiate ourselves among the competition, but also how are we going to work as an extension to those partners in providing them another option around cloud storage. And so over the last couple months, I've been working with some of those partners and getting feedback and saying, what are some of those challenges that you guys are faced with currently today with some of those storage providers that you're working with? And a lot of them has been, look, I'm just not getting paid the way I should based off of the opportunities I'm bringing to the table.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to work with, the smaller and mid-sized companies because they're harder because they are smaller and they need something that's easy to use, easy to turn up. That's the other thing. We're literally in seconds to turn up versus sometimes some companies take weeks, even sometimes months. So that's the other differentiator that the partners have come to us and said, oh my gosh, this is huge. Now my customers can really take that data and turn it up and spin it up in seconds.
And are you looking for primarily resellers and MSPs, and like what does your channel program or your channel types look like?
So right now we are working with, of course, the TSDs.
Okay.
A lot of the VARs also, smaller VARs are looking at us directly because they just figured, you know what, it's quick transactional type hits.
Yep.
We're working definitely with MSPs. We've
Okay.
got quite a few of those. Eventually, we will work with the larger distribution companies
Yep.
like your TD Synixes and Ingrams and such,
Yep.
Arrow and what have you. But right now, our primary focus is MSPs, TSDs, and some VARs that are direct.
Okay. Super. It sounds
Yep.
like an exciting gig where you have somebody who's optimizing revenue and then you're optimizing relationships, and then the combo allows your CEO to go out and work on the product and make sure that deliverability of times and all those amazing things that come in
Absolutely.
IT land are up to par, and then you guys build a company.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting because when I first started working with Titan from an agency perspective, there were so many factors that I kind of looked in and said, okay, you've got your top three cloud storage companies, and then you've got a couple other competition companies, and one of which is just starting to get into the channel. They've done more around the system integrators, but they're just starting to kind of get their feet wet in the channel. And I was like, you know what? This is like key time to go into storage. Storage, the storage business itself is going to grow exponentially over the next 4 to 5 years. I mean, you think about it, there is so much data. And a lot of these companies who are doing AI, where are they going to store all that data?
Yeah,
I
totally.
mean, there's companies out there that we're working with right now that is like, look, we can only hold that data for 30 days. And then we tell our customers, you got to go find a storage company to take the rest of that. So there's other types of partnerships that we're looking at. We're not just looking at the TSDs, your typical partners. We're looking at suppliers and system integrators as well to say, look, you've got companies out there that need that data to be stored somewhere.
Yeah.
Come to us and we'll
This is
do
why I
it.
say, like, even in, like, let's call it the IT world of or the IT industry, right? Like, companies have to think about the economics of partnerships, which is there's a production layer, and then there's a distribution layer, and then there's a consumption layer. And so the modern partnership leaders have to look for on both sides. They can't just look at distribution, because there's a whole bunch of supply stuff they need to work on. You can also go partner with some of your customers to to create industry specific solutions and stuff. And so this is why I keep on saying that the science of optimizing relationships is actually very important,
Absolutely.
more than just the art of building them. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the other thing is, which I was just thinking about, is you've got all these UCaaS and contact center type companies.
Yeah.
They're starting to realize, okay, we also need to start looking at what type of storage are we going to utilize for our data. And so a couple of those companies we're talking to, and when you talk about what other types of partnerships are we looking at, we're looking at wholesale and white labeling. So that's something that's different as well. And that's where we're trying to really kind of like you're talking about from the consumption-based model. That's something that these UCaaS, CCaaS providers are going to have to start looking at because they're not going to be able to do it on their own.
Totally.
And they need to take a look at where are they going to reinvest into the company. So they got to look at how are they going to start saving that money on their current storage options? Where can they go ahead and save and do more? And that's
I feel like
basically why I did it.
they have to build like just-in-time solutions. And so when they do that, there's like they need to buy compute, then they need to buy storage, they need to buy connectivity, and then bring it all together and then build these solutions. And all of this has to be done be just in time. It's not. I don't know if people will have enough cash flow anymore because there's no maintenance contracts that they're getting paid from, right? So if everybody's buying off of subscriptions, and you've got these like recurring contracts or recurring payments that are coming in, then everybody in the supply chain also has to move to that model.
Oh, yeah.
And
Not to
then nimble
mention,
companies like yourself can actually take advantage of that opportunity.
and not to mention a lot of, people are like, oh my gosh, but if I'm going to move all that data, and certain companies charge those egress fees.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's where
Yes.
all of a sudden the bill comes up. The good news with Titan is as you're taking a look at moving some of that storage, or excuse me, that data, we don't charge egress fees. So right there, you just saved money. And that
Yeah.
money that you've just saved, you can reinvest into the company on other types of things that you guys, the companies are doing. And like we had mentioned earlier, AI is booming.
Yep.
And we've been noticing a lot of the AI companies are also going, we need to start taking a look at our data and how we're going to do this.
Yeah. Well, right now everybody's buying chipsets, right? And
I know.
so like after they
Exactly.
buy chipsets and the chipset starts producing the data,
Now
then
what?
they have to say, well, where do I put this data, right? And
Yeah.
then obviously there's the whole thing around data decay,
Oh,
cataloging
yeah.
of data. Like there's just so much in this like data stuff. I was part of a data company that built technographic data. So
Oh, yeah.
I went and studied a bunch of how do you learn about what companies are using from the outside in versus just
Oh,
asking people about what their tech stack looks like, because there's so much publicly available information, but if you put it all together, you can, with a pretty high degree of accuracy, say what tech stack companies are using.
oh my gosh. Yeah, definitely.
And
Well,
that's called that type of data is called technographic data, and then our company got bought by Demand Base, and they're using it in their APM products.
I mean, it makes sense even from not you talking about that. Think about all the individual companies that have the badge scans
Oh yeah.
of their facial recognition too.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, that stuff stores a lot of data.
Yeah.
And you have
Totally.
to have it, that's compliancy also from a HIPAA
Yeah.
perspective. They have to have all that, especially like with hospitals or even financial institutes. Those are, I mean, that right there alone is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So,
Well, cool. Well, I'm excited. Your like data is definitely one of the topics that I'm very fond of. So we'll look forward to like bringing you back on to
I
share
would love
the latest
to.
and greatest as what's happening in the data industry. And primarily I mean you're on the storage side, but then there's like the application side of this whole thing. So
Yep.
maybe one day as you get your partners lined up, we'll take your distribution partners and your build partners and do a panel, and then they can
I
talk
would,
about like what's happening in the world of data and storage, and how should companies think about their data strategy.
that would be great. And I would love to even just, there's a lot happening with Titan over the next few months.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of updates, probably in the next 60 days, if not sooner, around our partner program. And, you'll be seeing over the next few weeks quite a few of the different partnerships that we're aligning with. We've already announced a few of them, but there's quite a few more over the next few weeks. So we're very
All right.
excited.
Well, when you make the LinkedIn post, just tag partnership leaders. We'll amplify all of them.
I will totally do that.
All right. Thanks so much, Jasmina. Good
Yep.
to connect with you again, and congrats on your new role.
Thank you so much, Asher. I appreciate it.